The future, we have been told, is electric. It makes a lot of eminent sense when it comes to not only convenience, cost, and clean air. India is now increasingly moving in this domain, and it's happy to see that a lot of homegrown companies are taking the lead, both in the two-wheeler space as well as in the four-wheeler space. But here is an important piece of information for anybody watching this telecast, both here live on television and of course on all social media platforms. The EV space so far has been subsidized by government. People are being encouraged to shift their two-wheelers, their four-wheelers into electric mode. A portion of these subsidies under Flame 2 are expiring at the end of May, which means from June the 1st, the prices of electric vehicles, as the cost that you have to pay for them, will go up. So if you have been in the market and have been thinking about buying an electric two-wheeler, have been tempted, if you want to do it, the time is now, because the prices could go up by a few thousand rupees in just a few days. So joining us to discuss both this development as well as the larger space is one of India's fastest growing EV manufacturers. You already know the brand name, Okaya. Okaya, of course, is ubiquitous when it comes with power backup solutions in this country. They also have now an EV vertical, and the person heading that EV vertical is Dr. Anshul Gupta. He is CEO and MD of Okaya EV. Anshulji, welcome to the telecast.
Thank you so much, Rishabh.
All right, Anshulji, let me just get a quick background before we get to the subject at point. So now Okaya, as I mentioned, is a household name when it comes to backup storage solutions, it comes to power. You're also now the fastest growing two-wheeler EV company. What made you decide to get into this market?
So it's a very interesting question, but when we realized the transformation in India was happening into the EV space, we have been migrating slowly from the lead acid domain into the lithium-ion space. And the two-wheeler segment or three-wheeler, four-wheeler segment is all the EVs are nothing but 50% batteries. Then it's a lot of software, and then it's the mechanical parts that go into it. But battery being the critical component, which comprises roughly 50%, made us really think what we would actually want to do in the future. So back in 2015, we started to migrate slowly into the EV space. 2017, and when we figured out that okay, this is our battery, this is what we can do with it in the lithium-ion vertical. That's when we vertically started to integrate upwards towards the EV. And the kind of expertise we have with respect to batteries and then bringing it to home and then doing these services at home made us think that, okay, maybe let's, when we launch our products, we can probably take this product experience of batteries into homes with EVs into homes as well. So that prompted us to start the electric vehicle division back in 2018, in which we started manufacturing, designing the electric two-wheelers in India.
Okay, we're showing some of them on our screens, and you can of course buy them as we speak, and which is why we're here to have this conversation, because there's a time window of next 4-5 days, which is very crucial. But what's the product lineup, Anshulji, when it comes to your EV offerings?
So the product offering has been, the starting range has been from 75,000, it goes up to 1,13,499 ex-showroom. Whatever the product line we are offering, it is predominantly dominated, it's 100% dominated by a LFP battery. And what it does is that it gives the consumer extra safety features and extra performance, because electric vehicles with the reduced subsidies anyways are going to get more expensive in the time to come. So what we offer as a unique solution is that they're all powered with LFP and they're all made in India, the batteries as well as the scooters. And the services right up to the consumer's home. That's what we have been doing in our last so many years. So Okaya's products are going right from 25 km per hour product speed up to something of 70 kilometers per hour with LFP technology based batteries.
Yeah, I'm showing some photographs on our screen. Pretty cool looking stuff. You mentioned the price range. What is the the USP here? Why is Okaya then? There are others in the market as well. Why is Okaya the tempting option?
So I would say that whenever we are buying electric vehicles, we have seen in media as well that there is, and after talking to a lot of people, that there is a lot of fear with respect to buying EVs. Initially, there was a lot of fear, the principal fear was range of, uh, catching fire, range of the fear of range of anxiety, etc. To with Okaya vehicles, what we have been predominantly focusing on is the safety aspect. Uh, the kind of technology which we use, which is an LFP battery, offers double life in terms of the cycle life and also offers 2x the safety. When I mean safety, I mean the it is fire resistant, and we have a lot of features built within the battery and the entire scooters which tell the consumers way in advance if there's any thermal incident happening, right? It takes care of there is no explosion as such if anything goes bad, right? But there's smoke that comes out, but it gives a lot of ample time to consumers to take action, as well as it's not very unsafe. So our safety being the priority, all of our battery packs and scooters are powered with LFP batteries.
Okay.
And more so, just to add on, the lifetime value of the product, because the EVs are sort of still, people have to shed out money and buy an EV. The biggest thing is that the lifetime value, it offers 2x more performance in terms of the lifetime of the vehicle. So
Okay,
that I
okay. So you're saying that there is a safety aspect, and of course, because the battery is of a certain grade, it's expected
right,
to be serviceable for longer. Okay, Anshulji, let's come to the crux of the matter, because we are a few days away from June the 1st.
right.
And can you explain to people watching this broadcast who might be tempted right now, might be considering right now buying an electric two-wheeler, that if they're tempted, why they should do it in the next few days and not after June 1st?
Absolutely. So the government has been, had taken out FAME 1 and then FAME 2 schemes, which was to subsidize the rates to the end consumer. The subsidies have been passing on, and the subsidies go up to the tune of 60,000 per scooter. So government has been kind enough to propagate the entire EV penetration. Now that subsidy is coming to the current scheme of things, the subsidy has been fully utilized. So the government has restructured the scheme itself, reducing the subsidies. Thereby, it's going to increase the cost of the vehicle acquisition for the consumer from 1st June. What it means for the consumer, that it is going to be the best time right now to get the products at their homes as soon as possible, because after 1st June the prices are going to rise up from anywhere between 20,000 to 42,000 to 45,000 per product. So this is right now the best time to buy an electric two scooter. Might be ours or somebody else's, but hands down, it's never going to be back again soon at this price with the kind of offering that is there in the market.
Okay, so again, just to repeat, so another 5-6 days. So if you purchase it, do the booking, and before the 1st, you are in a good space. The 25,000 rupees or 40,000 rupees is a large percentage of the total cost, so it's definitely worth considering. Okay, let me delve a bit deeper with you, because we talked about the subsidies, which it's good to see that it's already been exhausted. It's going into now a different stage of lower subsidies. But what can be further done to incentivize the switch to green tech?
I think the government has done plenty as of now, which with respect to FAME 1, FAME 2. As the subsidies are being trimmed down, we as an association of manufacturers do expect that something like FAME 3 would come out in the future to still, propel the faster adoption into the consumer segment. Apart from this, the government has also laid down the PLI incentives for the localization and indigenization of the lithium-ion cells and batteries. I think on and all, the central government subsidies have been very lucrative for everybody in the ecosystem, including the consumers. Furthermore, I think a lot of states have added value by offering state incentives to the consumers. Few states have done that. Many states are yet to announce their state subsidies for consumers. So I think one thing that could happen really is having state subsidies pass on to the consumers from the remainder of the states which are yet to announce that. And yes, I think the second other thing could be faster adoption of the EV charging stations, because there is a range anxiety in consumers. Is why we see people buying.
Okay, so I wanted to come to that, because you don't only make the two-wheelers, you also are developing the charging infrastructure. You have your own charging solution. You also, I'm being told, are developing a battery swapping solution. So how are you contributing to this infrastructural play?
So I'm really happy to say that we are one of the largest EV structure manufacturer and provider of the capex across the country. Most of, I would say, it's safe to say it's around 50 to 52% of the market share of the public installed charging infrastructure has been with us. And we have so far deputed around 3,000 plus DC chargers, which are fast chargers, which are installed pretty much on every highway and within the metro cities. So our vision with respect to creating an ecosystem has been very solid. Whether it's the EV, then the battery, and then the supporting infrastructure around it. Whether it's for two-wheelers, three-wheelers, or four-wheelers. So that is how we have currently and further to add on, the swapping infrastructure is also something we've been focusing on for the last 3 years. However, now that the subsidies are tapering down, I'm assuming that it's going to pick up further the swapping market as well.
Okay.
So you'll find supply in all the spaces.
Okay, interesting. Swapping, of course, means that you don't have to charge. You can go to a station and they take out the battery, and so it's almost within few minutes you can go back to fully charged, and that's an infrastructure which is being parallelly created. Okay, so when we talk about the future, sir, how has it been? How are sales? How's the customer feedback that you're getting?
Right. So I think it's safe to say that choosing the right technology for us has been a great. When we chose LFP, we had a lot of debate internally, but ever since we have rolled out our product, the sales have been great. We've managed to reach number 8 position last month, but now we've been sustaining that. This month, we're expected to reach to at least the top 6 of the EV players in the two-wheeler segment. So sales have been promising for sure. The customer experience and the product experience have been great. We've gotten customers who have beaten our own claims, who have, taken the product to 180, 190, even 200 kilometers per charge, and really, really happy to, see all of those feedbacks. And whatever feedbacks we got from the customers on improving the products also, with respect to certain features, certain additions of certain, things that they wanted us to incorporate in our upcoming products, we've happily incorporated in our current as well as the upcoming products as well.
All right. So, around you, the ecosystem which you are part of, an important part of. So, the big issue, of course, is the battery manufacturing, right? So now we are seeing that in Bangalore, the first lithium-ion battery, truly Indian lithium-ion battery manufacture has started. We now know that there's prospecting for lithium going on. They found some reserves in Ladakh and J&K. Sodium ion is coming. Some acquisitions are being made on sodium ion technology, which is being researched in Europe and other places. So how does India, the entire value chain, literally from the raw material to the end product, where you come in, how are we going in the entire value chain? How do we capture this value chain?
So I think it's a very interesting question because when you look at everything around you, whether it's the telecom towers, 4G, 5G, whether it's the mobile phone, laptops, and then it's also the EV products, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, everything that we're operating on and transitioning to has lithium and lithium-ion battery supporting it. So what I feel is that the getting the mines in India, finding those 2 mines in India has been really a substantial, relief for all of us because whilst we move away from net fossil imports into India, we would have otherwise transitioned into a net lithium import into India. Finding those reserves have been great. I see that the entire industry is working towards getting sodium ion as well as lithium ion batteries into existence with locally manufacturing. As you mentioned about the Bangalore, a battery plant being opened up in Bangalore as well. Whilst the scale of operations keep increasing, the demand and the consumption keeps increasing, it becomes more and more viable for the investors and people to put manufacturing plant and create an ecosystem which is stable. So I think now that India EV penetration has reached 5% and it's going to increase further, whether it's the two-wheeler, four-wheeler, any other segment. So it becomes more and more viable. However, there are a lot of challenges ahead, a lot of development, capex to be infused by the manufacturers, policy surrounding it. So a lot of work happening, and I see the government taking actions, and I see
it's of course going to be a multi-billion-dollar market. If other companies in the world have proven it that the market exists, great to see that homegrown entrepreneurs are at the front end of this, and you are of course one of them. But before I let you go, Anshulji, I have to ask you this. So like I began, so you're from a storage solution, providing backup solutions,
Right.
to getting into EVs, then you have to worry about comfort and, the mechanical engineering part of it, of the lights and the tires and all of this. So how exciting was that journey into a different space?
Interestingly, I'm a civil engineer who's doing all of this. So, but at the end of the day, engineering, when you learn it and you're fascinated by it, you can get into any depth you want to do. So, I've had my team myself go into the entire journey right from 2015. We went across to different countries. We learned, and it's been very exciting. Learning opportunities. Engineering itself has been very, very good for us and all my team members. So fortunate enough, we have spent 4 years developing products and then rolling it out, and then currently taking it up to 2 years in advance strategy mechanism has been very exciting.
Okay, so I have to ask you then, what's the future? So I think there are how many products in the portfolio right now?
Currently, we have around 5 products in the portfolio for the EV.
So are you? Of course, the technology keeps changing so rapidly, right? I mean, we're talking about lithium, which is currently the base technology, and sodium might come. So where do you see the future? Is it mostly technological? Is it design? Is it just about sales? What's the future?
It's going to be balance of design as well. So design is going to attract customers. However, the entire economics will work with the scale of the things, and technology is going to make a huge part. So it's going to be like it's a three-tiered structure wherein everything has to come together. But technology, as well as the scalability of the product and the manufacturing, is going to bring down the cost of the things. So I think there's a lot of innovation in each of the component, not just battery, whether it's the motor, whether it's the light, whether it's the chassis, whether it's the parts, everything. So it's going to be an exciting future, and it's going to be
exciting, and taking on the big guys is always exciting. Anshul, pleasure. It's always great to see Indian entrepreneurs, Indian engineers getting in and taking on these challenges and building Indian products for Indians. Very, very happy to interact with you. And just a reminder to our viewers, the reason we're having this conversation is 1st June is the big day when the current tranche of EV subsidies expire. So if you're thinking of getting an electric two-wheeler, perhaps the next few days is the time to go ahead and do it. The price will increase substantially.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.